Hello, it is Reviews Day Tuesday and today it is time for the Quiet as Mouse book club. My last book club video was in January and I reviewed The Martian. I have not finished a book since then, but I am happy to announce that this weekend I read a book. Yay! And I read All That She Can See by Carrie Hope Fletcher. Now this is her third book and her second novel. I have reviewed her previous two books, All I Know Now and On the Other Side, and I will link to those reviews in the description below and also up here. All That She Can See is about Cherry Redgrave, a young woman in her 20s. She can see people's negative thoughts, their negative emotions like hate and anger and cynicism and frustration and loneliness. She sets up a bakery to try and help people by putting her positive thoughts into her baking to counteract and curb her customers' negative emotions with positive ones. The book is split into three sections. The first deals with Cherry's past and her setting up this business. I love this part. I said this about On the Other Side, but I really like Carrie's brain, the stories and concepts that she comes up with, and this is another really great concept. As the story progresses, Cherry meets Chase, a guy who can do what she does but with a difference, and I'm not going to tell you what that difference is because I quite like the reveal of the difference. And then the story is involved with their relationship, their rivalry, and then in the final part of the book things take a wider view. Cherry and Chase become part of a much bigger story and we have a quest and an enemy and things get more perilous and dramatic. I kind of wish that we just had Cherry starts a baking business to help people and has a rivalry with Chase as the story and not had this whole extra bit. I mean, don't get me wrong, there were some great ideas addressed during this latter part of the story, but I feel like it was almost a different book, a different story. And also Cherry and Chase's relationship changes very quickly. They go from being one thing to being another thing and we don't really spend any time in the middle. I'd kind of like this middle bit to be more of a thing, more of a factor in the book. You know, where they're sort of growing to understand each other a bit more and are a bit annoyed about it. So I feel a bit like the balance was off in terms of how their relationship was portrayed. And also, like, their story didn't have to become part of a bigger story. I mean, their story and their world could have remained small and I still would have been interested. I would have been very happy just spending time with them in their little village. Having said all this about the latter part of the book, I did quite like where the book ended up, and it was quite open to future stories, and I would be quite interested in revisiting the world in the future. Also, I just want to mention just how beautiful this book is. All of Carrie Hope Fletcher's books have been so beautiful. The dust jacket and the inside. Look at it, it's so nice. So good job, another beautifully designed, visually appealing book. So those are my main thoughts on All That She Can See. I think it's a wonderful story and a great idea, and I loved the magical realism. I love how it's far more set in a specific time than On the Other Side was. We have Cherry learning how to use social media to promote her business, which I really liked. I very much enjoyed reading the book and it was a very quick, easy read. I just feel like the first half was far more exciting than the second half, even though all of the exciting things happened in the second half. Sometimes a story doesn't have to be bigger to be better, I guess. Cherry and Chase's story has legs without there needing to be a bad guy, a conspiracy, a life and death dilemma. Those are my thoughts and I would be very interested to know yours as well. I will give All That She Can See 3.7 out of 5. So as to the future of the Quiet as Mouse book club, it is my intention to get the book club back to being a regular thing on this channel, but my first priority is just to get myself back to reading again. I have just not been reading much at all recently. I have somehow got out of the mood to read, which hasn't happened to me for a very long time, so if you have any tips as to how I can get out of this reading rut, then do let me know. So it shouldn't be 6 months until my next book club video, but I'm not going to give myself a deadline or even a specific book that I'm going to review next because I feel like I just need to read at all. On that note, it's end screen time. If you want to see my other book club videos and my latest video, you can do so here. You can also visit my website or subscribe to my channel beside me here, and links to my reviews of Carrie Hope Fletcher's previous books are down in the description below. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you very soon.